Before we move forward, let's go back to your time in Haiti. How did that all come about? I know we're going to be seeing Dr. Ben and some of the other folks here. How did that all come about? And tell me about your time in Haiti earlier last year.
I have to apologize. I never was in Haiti with the floating doctors. I came aboard in August of 2010. However, Dr. Ben and his sister Sky will tell you all about it. From what I've seen on YouTube and floatingdoctors.com website, they have some phenomenal stories to tell.
So tell me now, when you say next week, we're looking at around the 15th of February. I'm not sure exactly. This could air several times over the next weeks and months. You're going to be heading out to Haiti, and what is the plan there in more detail?
The plan is to spend at least a month and a half to 2 months in up water purification sites at the local villages, freshwater sources, to ensure that the drinking water primarily is clean. We have to stem the outbreak of cholera, and to do that is a simple filtration and chlorination systems that we will be setting up. Other than that, we'll be taking 4,000 liters of IV fluids that will be desperately needed for the folks that already have the cholera epidemic. And we will be loading all of that IV fluid on board in the coming days.
I know yesterday was a big day for you and all the doctors and all the people participating here. Tell us about it.
Well, for months and months, we've been waiting for a 40-foot container from Direct Relief International. This container finally cleared customs 3 days ago, and we had 48 hours to clear the container. And our Rotary Club members here, Donna and Gary Evans, have been gracious enough to have their property opened up to us. Yesterday took us 4.5 hours to unload a 40-foot container. We divvied everything up, and all the local hospitals, the clinics, the rehabilitation centers have all picked up their medical supplies that were donated to the island of Roatan and these lovely people.
And last, before we talk to Sky, tell me about what exactly is your role going to be for the next few months? I mean, tell us what you're going to be doing after you leave port here.
My specific duties as captain is safety. Safety first. The sea is a very unforgiving place. Safety in transiting from point A to point B. If any emergencies arise, the captain is a leader in stemming a fire, flooding, man overboard, and the fun stuff is fishing and navigating. So it's not all work. It's not all work.
And before I let you go, tell me about your background. How do you get to be a captain? What was your days like?
I first started sailing competitively when I was a young child on the Illinois River. I spent 8 years in the Navy. After that, I worked for the U.S. government for several years in a flying capacity as an airman. I had an accident and lost my left leg in an aircraft crash. So I decided to go into the marine world. I worked as a captain at a resort up in Wisconsin for 6 years, and that gave me the time to get my 100 tons captain's license. And I put my paperwork in for Dr. Ben and Sky to look at, and they said, when can you be here? So I think this is I'm living the dream right now. It's non-paying job. I do good work. I get more beans with my rice.
Well, we want to thank you so much for the great job that you've done to ensure that this boat can do what it can, and all the people that it's helped, and it needs a solid foundation and support that you've given it. Many, many thanks from everybody on the island for all that you've done.
And thank you for having me this afternoon.
We're here with my friend Dan. Dan's been a great friend of mine since he's come to the island way back. And the only time I could remember this is basketball playoff time, which was May, June of last year. And you came along on the ship, on the smaller ship over there compared to the other ones. And we'll show that ship over there. Dan's come along. He's a sailor. He sailed all around the world. It's just an amazing guy and become a really good friend. But unofficially, he's a part of this team here as a photographer and someone who has been kind of documenting what's gone on here. So, Dan, welcome to to the show here, and thank you so much for being a part of what these guys here, the floating doctors, are trying to do.
Well, thanks, Bruce. It's nice to be here.
And tell us a little bit about some of the more interesting things that you've done with them. I know that you went left with them to go to Copan, and I know there was no floating doctors going on there, but you did go with them on a trip that they took to help see what they could do up in Copan.
Yeah, it actually was the first vacation they'd been on in about 2 years, and they just needed a break for a few days. So they asked me to come along, take pictures of them going up there for their website, and I was along there for about 4 or 5 days up in Copan, and had a really nice time up there. The ruins are pretty nice.
Tell me a little bit about these guys. I know you've been with them for months now, on and off, both as friends and as a professional person, you know, being the photographer. Tell me about this group of people that have just given up so much time in their lives to do what they're doing.
Well, I guess that's a neat thing about it. Probably one of the worst economies the States has ever had, and these kids just put something together like this, and they've donated a bunch of time and got a bunch of money and been up to Haiti and down here. They've done a lot of stuff with the hospitals and the clinics and everything, and it's just really neat to see kids do something like that. Everyone always says, you know, kids got, you know, no ambition or no drive in their life, and these guys just went and did it. They went and just chose to just say, to heck with it, I'm going to sacrifice a bunch of time and a bunch of money, and well, not it's money, it's donation stuff they picked up, but it's not just them. I mean, all the people who've donated to help them out too. I mean, there's all that kind of money coming from thousands of other people, probably, you know, money, medical supplies, all sorts of things, and it just shows that there are still a lot of people that have a heart when it comes right down to it.
And quite frankly, they were there, you know, right after the earthquake, and now they're going to go there during this cholera outbreak. I mean, they're really risking a lot more than just time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It's pretty unstable over there right now, too. It sounds like there's going to be an election coming up in the middle of March, something like that, so they are worried about that. There's been some old presidents who've been trying to come back in, or what presidents, prime ministers, I'm not sure what they are in Haiti. But they're going to have to deal with that, and a few people here have said they might have to, like, on a moment's notice, they might be just hauling up and getting off shortly, so they just don't know what's going on over there yet.
And will you be continuing with them? Are you going to be going to Haiti to photograph what they're going to be doing?
I'm going to try and fly up there for about a week, you know, when I know they're there for sure. They've been wanting me to sail with them, but sail time is not exact, and I have commitments here. So if I knew for sure they'd be gone a week, and then a week there, then that'd be good. But since it doesn't work out that way, I'll wait till they get there, and then I'll look for a flight or something and go over there for a week and try and document them more with what the work they're doing when they get out off the boat.
Great, Dan. Great work you're doing, and many thanks for being on the show. We'll be right back.